Hey guys, Trapper John coming out for another Diablo 4 video. Now in this video, this one's going to be pretty straightforward, guys. We're going to make it as simple as possible. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and explain some of these malignant type stuff in the game. And also, we do know that you can get certain Wrathful malignants from gambling. I want to kind of show you, I've stockpiled enough to get, as you can see here, 31 uncertain hearts. This does give you a chance for a Wrathful heart. This basically just gives you a straight up a chance to get a Wrathful. Now you can do uncertain invoker and use those, and that can give you a chance to get the Wrathful malignant heart, right? Which is definitely something where, like, once you beat the boss in the dungeon, then you go ahead and invoke the next little boil, so to speak. Having one of these is very helpful because it guarantees that he spawns full malignant, but it's just one of those situations where what makes the most sense when gambling. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna figure that out in this video, and also show you kind of better what ways to manage these, what to be doing, what to be looking out for, so on and so forth. All right, so we are back. So let's go ahead and let's just dive into this a little bit more as to what I am really talking about. Let me go ahead and let's take my Cairo or my cyborg off here, and let's actually shrink me down a little more so you can kind of see a little better behind me. Move my big old head out of the way. You know what? We're just gonna put my big head in the way a little bit here in the center. So now you can see above my right shoulder, or well, it's going to look on the left hand side for you. You can see where I have all these malignants, and on the other side you're going to see I have these ones over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what to be doing with these. So as you can see here, I've obviously been stockpiling these. My particular build as a rogue only requires that I have these particular malignants. So what I'm doing is I'm stockpiling only those. What this allows me to do is swap out my rings and amulets very fluently because I have a plethora of malignants, right? So even though, yes, you have to worry about legendary aspects, more importantly than legendary aspects, so to speak, is your malignant that's equipped on it. For example, on a necro, if you're doing a bone spear build, this automatically do the corpse like a corpse skill is huge, especially for refreshing your essence and for proccing corpse tendrils, right? It makes a big difference in then what you can actually do out there. So this is very important to always have in your build. Now the other one that we have is Decrepify for 16 seconds, and this does a lot more damage and then slows them and makes it just really nice to have, right? So this one always is going to be used in my build as well. Last but not least, a lot of this will be kind of between a few of them, but the Barber Malignant makes the biggest difference. So notice that this whole entire tab, what this is all of those types of malignants. Now why is that? Because these are my backups, so that way I can always flip-flop these rings. So this means that other ones over here, like this one, we'll go ahead and keep this. I just farmed some of these, so we're going to kind of see what we have here. Now when I say I just farmed these, I mean these got farmed pretty much for 4 or 5 hours yesterday, and that was a lot of this stash. I didn't actually have a whole lot of them, so I said, you know what, F it, we're gonna go ahead and run a bunch of them in tier 4 and see what we get. I even moved my seasonal journey, the season essence here, season blessings, I even moved it from here over to here so that hopefully get better malignants overall. It was very cheap to do. Highly recommend it if you're gonna farm malignants anyways. But notice that we went ahead and we went through all those. So all I have left is junk. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna immediately come over here and you're gonna get rid of them. Why you're gonna do that? Because inventory sucks, stash tabs suck, and we don't have room. D4 bad, or so they say. It's really kind of a cop-out in my opinion. But yes, overall in general, we don't have a whole lot of storage space, so go ahead and get rid of them. And it doesn't hurt anything, because basically what you're doing is you are getting them back in more of a more useful form. You are very prone to get a lot of brutal hearts and a lot of vicious caged hearts. These are gonna come all the time. Same with devious as well, especially when you're running nightmare dungeons, when you're running malignant dungeons. These are very easy to get. However, the ones that are hard to get are going to be your Wrathful ones. Notice you can't even craft those. You have to then create a what is it, a Varsharn, and then that gives you a chance for a Wrathful when you unlock the door for the final boss, or you have to basically gamble where you get the Wrathful Invoker for a malignant dungeon, or you get the Uncertain Heart, which guarantees you one of these, right? It also could potentially be a Wrathful. So what we're going to do here now and the rest of this video is we're going to gamble. I'm going to show you your odds. So this one right here, Obviously, if you go ahead and you do these as well, you're probably going to have about the same odds to get a malignant invoker. Like, this doesn't guarantee it, right? Sorry, a wrathful invoker and wrathful and malignant invoker. Same thing with this. So you might as well, if you're going to gamble, and notice that the inventory here takes the same resources, but notice that the invoker costs a lot more. I don't think that's by design, to be honest, or it could just be simply that they want to try to say, hey, this is better rates for dropping. I don't know. I'm going to gamble on the uncertain hearts because that's what I've heard has been the best so far. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just pop them all. We'll just take all 32 and we'll see what we get, or 20 of them. Okay, we don't let me do 20 at a time. All right, there we go. Now we can do the rest of them. Boom, that's all of them, right? So as you can see here, now we can go through and we can pop them all. So we've got 32 of them for the point of this video. Now let's go ahead and let's see what we got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do this whole top row. All right, let's see what we got. Looks like we got one Wrathful. Yep, so we got one Wrathful, and it was a Barber, which is massive for my build. This was a huge win. That's exactly what we're looking for 9 out of 10 times. Let's go ahead and pop that one and then put it back up there to fill that row up again. All right, so that was great. So right there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. When popping 11 of them, I got one Wrathful. That's decent odds, to be honest, because like I said, this took me 4 or 5 hours to get up to like the 30 of them. So that's constant grinding back and forth to Malignant Dungeons, but that's awesome in my opinion. So let's go ahead and let's keep popping the rest of them, see how many we can get out of 32. So another 11 there. So let's see if that went ahead and gave us one more Wrathful. Nope, no Wrathful on that one, unfortunately. So let's see here. Now let's pop the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we popped the 9. This makes 32 of them popped and opened. Another Wrathful. Okay, so we got 2 Wrathfuls out of 32 of them, and this was unfortunately a creeping death one, so this one's not going to be helpful. This Barber one's going to be a huge win. So out of 32, I got one Wrathful that made sense for my build. Keep that in mind, because I could have rolled and gotten these uncertain invokers for almost the same probability, and that wouldn't have ended as well, because now I would have to go out there, fight a boss, and use the invoker to hopefully get the right Malignant. So this kind of worked out better in my favor anyways in general. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that you can always craft these. So let's say you oopsie, right, and you see my video where I like, don't make this mistake in Diablo 4, right? Because it was a simple video where I didn't read and I was just playing because I'm a casual, right? Like I play like you guys, I only get to play a couple hours a night, and even then, to a lot of people haven't even completed the campaign. They're not even at level 70 where I'm at. They're way behind me even, and that's pretty bad because I don't get to play a whole lot. But if that is the case, you can always, if you brick your build, so to speak, you can always come over here and at least gamble these a little easier. These are a lot cheaper to get. Notice that the cost here is is brutal malignants and devious malignants. It's 35 of them. It's a little bit higher than this over here, but it guarantees you those ones, right? And these are the 2 that you need for your build, right? Especially in my case, this vicious one has to be on there. Auto detonate corpses or and tendrils has to be on there for my build to work properly. So you can easily remedy that with just guaranteed I'm gonna get this one. But yeah, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. Now let's go ahead and let's get rid of them. But luckily, because I know my build, I know I can just delete these purple ones altogether. And a lot of you may say, John, maybe you want to hold on to these for an alt character, or maybe you want to hold on to these in case you switch your build. And that's fine. If I do, I'll go farm them again. One thing I can't stand, and one thing I'm going to highly recommend, is that you guys definitely pay attention to what kind of stash that you're accumulating, because sometimes you may think, oh yeah, I'm going to use this, and then you never do. And this happens, I would say 90% of the time when you hold a piece of gear. It doesn't matter if it's Path of Exile, Diablo, if it's any of those ARPG games. Same thing even for like WoW and in games like that, right? You're constantly making this decision of, I'm going to keep this inventory, and it just clutters everything up. So I would definitely recommend and keep in mind that, hey, keeping a nice clean inventory is very helpful, especially with these limited stash availability compared to what we would expect from a Blizzard game. They are remedying it though. We should see that very, very soon in one of the next patches, where we can now store a lot more of, or buy more stash area. I'm kind of excited for that. We'll see how it goes when it actually gets released, if it releases well. But yeah, overall in general, that is essentially Malignance. And also just pay attention, make sure you're using the right one that makes the most sense. This Barber one, this one is kind of controversial, but it makes a world of difference. It makes you hit so much harder. When my Barber procs, it's anywhere between 2 million to 6 million, depending on who I'm fighting with. So it definitely makes a big, big difference. Gives you a lot of damage, so keeping that in mind. Also, this is only level 4. Level 5 is the peak, and that one, it can get really, really, really high. I don't think I only have level 4 ones, but yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys. Hopefully that solves or makes you feel a little bit better about what to be doing with Malignance, because it is one of those situations where it is a new seasonal mechanic. Also, don't count on Malignance being there for the next season. I have a highly I really think this is just a test run. I don't think this is going to be left in the game permanently. Most season mechanics like this, these are temporary season mechanics, not permanent ones. And I highly doubt they leave this in the game constantly, but they may circle back to it later on. So definitely enjoy it, take your time and play with it. See if you can figure out the best build for you and your playstyle. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.